welcome to Well Within Reach. And today we have with us Chef Johnetta Frazier, who is also project manager at the Frazier Family Coalition for Stroke Education and Prevention. Chef Frazier, we are so happy to have you here with us today. And today we're going to talk about plant forward eating. So, what is plant forward eating?
Basically, plant forward eating is making fruits and vegetables um, or plant food part of your diet, and it should be the focus of your diet and not allowing animal foods to be the focus of your diet, basically. So when we talk about plant-based diets, we're talking about foods like your fruits, your vegetables, your whole grains, your legumes, which are your peas, your beans, and your lentils. And we're talking about our seeds and our nuts.
Okay.
So what we want is on your plate, half of your plate to be a vegetable, half of your plate to be a whole grain, excuse me, a quarter of your plate being a whole grain, and the other quarter of your plate being your protein, which would be your fish, your chicken, your beef, and your beans.
Okay. So you're talking about plant forward. So what is not plant forward
Okay,
eating?
being ah, sounds crazy, right? So plant forward means not being a vegetarian or vegan, or not necessarily being a vegetarian or vegan. It means that you're not eating rabbit food or salads all the time. It means that you don't have to eat fancy or expensive foods. And finally, it means that you don't have to give up eating those traditional dishes you're used to eating. Let me give you an example.
Hmm.
So instead of having a big steak or three ribs with a small salad, or if you're not having a small salad, uh, baked potato or mashed potatoes, let's just flip it on the side or flip it all the way over, and we'll have the salad or vegetables being half of your plate. And how about if they're roasted vegetables? Doesn't that sound great? Half the plate of roasted vegetables, and then, or it could even be three quarters, and just let that meat be a small portion. We don't want that meat or that fish or that chicken to be the main event on your dish.
I like that. So instead of saying we're having chicken for dinner tonight or we're having beef for dinner tonight, we want to say we're having broccoli for dinner tonight.
Oh, I don't know if that's going to go over very well.
So, what are the benefits of moving towards a more plant forward diet? What are some of
Wow,
the benefits?
there are a lot of benefits. A plant forward diet is more heart healthy because if you incorporate that type of diet, you're likely to lower your cholesterol and reduce the risk of many heart diseases, as well as lower your
Uh,
blood pressure.
do you think there is
Okay. Oh,
a
oh, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no? I was going to say, as far as costs and providing for a family, do you think that plant forward eating is cost effective? Is it more expensive? What are
I
your
think
thoughts?
I think it's more cost effective, really, because everything that you get doesn't necessarily need to be fresh. Yes, we want it to be fresh, but sometimes frozen is just as good as fresh. And if you can't do that, I would go to canned. But again, you need to, any canned food that you eat, you need to rinse it well because of all the preservatives in there, specifically salt. But there's some other benefits to a plant forward diet. We talked about it being heart healthy, but it is also diabetes preventative, and it helps to even manage um, the blood sugar of those who do have diabetes. So we need to think about that. It controls your blood sugar as well as it improves your insulin response. And
So
there's one, well, I
No.
have a couple more. Sorry.
Mhm,
It
mhm.
helps in terms of weight management. All right. By consuming a plant forward diet, you're consuming more amounts of fiber, which means you're going to be fuller for a longer period of time. And naturally, you know, eating more fruits and vegetables and things of that nature, guess what? Fewer calories you're going to be consuming. Isn't that great? Everybody wants to lose a pound or two. And it is gut friendly. Gut friendly. Um, by eating these foods, by eating these whole grains, by eating these fruits and vegetables, what you're going to do is you're going to fuel those bacteria in your body. Fuel that healthy bacteria. And did you know that the gut is considered the second brain? So, besides helping with digestion, the gut, eating those good foods will help in three areas. So, did you know the gut affects or stimulates emotion, mood, and mental wellness?
So it sounds like plant forward eating is really redesigning our traditional plate. I like to go back to that, where most of what we see on the plate is plant related, either, like you said, the veggies, the fruit, the grains. And it
The
seems
whole
like
brain.
the whole, oh yeah, make sure we say whole grains. And it seems like the fat portion and the meat protein portion is a little bit smaller. Is that?
That is correct. That is correct. So, even though I'm telling you to eat these whole grains, these vegetables, the fruits, the nuts and seeds, there are three culprits out there: the fat, the sugar, and the sodium. So we still have to be careful, because even though I said that this diet would be heart healthy, it's good for the gut, will help you lose weight, it's good for diabetes. If you laden these foods with butter, salt, sugar, you're defeating the whole purpose.
So, could you tell us a little bit about the Lunch and Learn program that you do at Frazier? I know that that is a plant forward eating program that you have. Can you tell everybody what that's all about?
Yes, I facilitate a lunch and learn program. Over the next few months, I'll be doing it 2 times a month. It's the first and the third Thursday of the month, and it occurs from 12 to 1:15, 1:30. And I teach them about how they can incorporate, again, these plant forward foods into their diet. So, this week we are going to have you ever heard of cauliflower rice?
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm going to make a cauliflower rice dish that's going to taste like the Asian dish that we're familiar with, stir fried vegetables. So, we're going to have stir fried cauliflower rice with all the veggies. Of course, it starts with the cauliflower, because the cauliflower is going to take the place of the rice. There are going to be carrots in there, peas, ginger, cabbage. Uh, there'll be scallions and garlic. So it'll be really healthy. And guess what our protein is going to be?
What's that?
I'm actually going to um, have two sources of protein in there. One is going to be tofu, and the other one will be edamame beans. Still
Okay.
in the soy family, but those are going to be the sources of protein. So if you don't like that, people, remember I said you can still have a little bit of protein in your diet,
Hmm.
but we tend to make our plate more protein based instead of vegetable based. And I like to see color. even though I don't like a lot of color, but I have quite a bit of color on today. But even though, um, well, when we have our plate, you have the steak or the chicken or whatever, and then on the side, you're either going to have like potatoes or corn or a starchy vegetable. And your plate is mostly brown or beige in color. And you know that you eat with your eyes, so you want your plate to be really colorful, to have the broccoli and the asparagus and the Brussels sprouts and the beets and things of that nature. You want to use the colors of the rainbow. That should be always part of your plate, because that makes your meal more appetizing, more appealing.
All right. So we're happy to have you here with us today, Chef. Thank you for telling us about Lunch and Learn and how you're really bringing the plant forward concept to the community. Not only are you talking about it, but you're giving people examples of how to integrate a more plant forward lifestyle. So I think that's critically important. So before we end today, I would love to have some last words from you.
Last words. I always say you are what you eat. That's always number one. But in order for you to continue to have a vibrant, robust, um, healthy life, we need to incorporate better eating habits. But besides eating well, there are other parts of the equation. You need to drink that water, right? And do that exercise. So if you do those three things, I think you'll be able to live a long, healthy life.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Chef. We appreciate you being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.